Oh, I keep forgetting that.
And welcome to Benchmonster TV.
I'm Ashley Lynn Condre.
And I am the Bench Monster, Ryan Kennelly.
Thank you so much for joining us this week. We have a special treat for you this Thursday. We've got a guest waiting in the wings, so we won't waste any time.
Bruce Mason
we'll bring
is
him
waiting.
right on in. We got Bruce Mason in the house tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to do a little introduction here, play some of his greatest lifts that he's just done in his last meet where he totaled 28.45. So let's get this ball rolling. All right, Bruce Mason. He has a master's degree in exercise physiology. He's been powerlifting for 14 years. He started in college, transitioned from single ply to multiply. His first weight class was 198 and now competes in the 308 weight class. His best total is 28.45, consisting of an 1120-pound squat, 900-pound bench, and 825-pound deadlift, the sixth highest total of all time. His belief in powerlifting on the day of competition is, on your best day, you will be hard to beat.
Very cool.
Looking forward to bringing on Bruce, and let's do that as we transfire there.
Here he is.
Big Bruce, what's going on, brother?
Mason.
Going on, Ryan?
Good to have you on the show, man.
We're so glad you're here. Thank you for joining us.
Been wanting to get you on here for a while, and I'm just glad you had some time to do this evening. This will be fun.
Yep, we're looking forward to it. We got lots of questions, so I think we'll just get right down to business if you're all right with that.
Let's start rolling, Miss Ashley.
You ready to rock? All right.
Yeah.
So did you play any sports in high school? If so, which ones? And did you lift back then?
So actually, considering I was 198 for my first powerlifting meet, I was actually 6'3", 127 pounds in high school.
Holy cow.
Yeah. So I actually was the second string goalie for soccer, which I played a phenomenal position called bench. And
different kind of bench then.
So all I honestly did from there was I started working out immediately, basically in high school, and started eating. And by the time I was a senior in high school, I was about 200 pounds.
Okay.
So I started out playing soccer and running, and then ended up just lifting weights and caught the bug.
Nice. So you started early. Do you remember like how much you were squatting? How much what your numbers were back when you were like a senior?
So I remember the bench. There was a 1,000-pound club, which I think kind of got me started in through the three lifts of the powerlifting.
Mm-hmm.
We had a really high box squat, which probably didn't count. But between that, a 305-pound raw bench that I did as a senior in high school,
wow.
And I think it was some trap bar deadlift of like 500 pounds. It wasn't anything impressive. But
500 pounds is 500 pounds.
I mean, and I'm originally from New Jersey, so, and then transplanted into Ohio after for college.
Okay.
But so that's what started us out. And I mean, there were freaks even when I was in high school. I mean, people used to throw 135 off the bench. As they would throw it, they would catch it midair and bench it again and throw it and catch.
Damn.
Yeah, so there were some big boys where I went to school with. So.
That's crazy. I've never seen anybody do that. Have you?
No, and 6'3", and what was the body weight again?
I was like 200 pounds.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
And yeah, but the people doing that, they were probably closer to 300 pounds.
God, in high school? That's wild.
Wow.
My high school had 2,500 kids in it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's a big school.
Wow.
I'm
trying to think how many mine had when I was... Okay. So you got kind of an early start then. That's awesome. So you kind of already answered this, but when and how did you get into powerlifting? What kind of segue?
So actually, I got into powerlifting through college, but I mean, long story short, I actually joined the powerlifting team because I actually joined a fraternity. And in the fraternity, there were 4 guys that were single ply, all around powerlifters, and there were some we had one world class powerlifter with us, and he was 100 and I think it was like 165 was the IPF weight class or something. And at 165, he squatted 700 pounds, benched high threes, and pulled like I think 675 or something in like Bulgaria or somewhere in like worlds. So that was the class of people that we were around.
That's crazy.
But I ended up joining because of a fraternity. I knew a couple guys, and I thought I was strong, and I found out I was not very quickly.
Okay. When and which powerlifting meet was your first? How did it go, and how did you feel about it afterwards?
Oh boy. So this is, the first problem, I've been doing this for 14 years, so probably the first, I would say 8 years was a big old clusterfuck. To this day, I still had probably bombed out more meets than I've actually competed in. So that's probably a fun statistic.
Wow.
But the first meet that I completed I believe it was called Mr. K's Power Meet. And I competed in single ply, and my total was a 1435 total with bench, squat, and deadlifting combined. And it was all single ply. It's all walked out, just horrible USAPL guidelines.
Oh,
Right.
gosh. Yeah. That's...
In fact, I remember I wore boxer briefs the one time, and I had no idea. I'm a brand new powerlifter, and the judge physically came up to me and was like, what are you wearing? I was like, underwear. The hell do you think I'm wearing? And he told me to either take them off or to figure out a way to make them into briefs. So I had to physically cut my boxer briefs that day to go back underneath my squat suit so I was not red lighted out of the competition.
Oh. Oh my God. I never understand that, how your underwear are gonna affect your bench press. Like,
What year was that, Bruce?
It would have been probably like 2008 or 2009.
Okay.
Crazy. That was USAPL or USPA? No,
Uh,
they're pretty much the
USAPL.
same at this point. Sorry, what?
USAPL.
Okay. So they're almost worse probably than USPA. They're very similar.
What month is that?
Who got you into powerlifting?
So honestly, I kind of fell into it. I wanted to be strong. A simple story. I was picked on as a kid, and lifting weights was my way out.
Mm-hmm.
And when I came to Ohio, like I said, I thought I was pretty strong, so I joined the powerlifting team. Little did I know that there was a lot smaller people much stronger than me. And honestly, it was probably about 3 or 4 years in. It was probably 4 years in, and I remember making my mom run out crying in a powerlifting meet because I stood up from squatting and my hips shot up too quick and the bar went over my head.
Oh no!
I remember she ran out crying and I stood back up. I'm like, I'm fine. Like we'll take a third attempt, please. Like no problem. And it was just I don't want to say I was too stupid to give up or too stupid to quit, but there was just something there that I just loved in the heat of the moment, and I kept pushing through. But about 4 years in, I saw some video from like Elite FTS, and it was their Valentine's Day training montage with like Wendler and Steve Deal and Wenning and all of them. And I saw them like squatting 1,000 pounds. And I remember saying, you know what? I was like, I'm going to squat 1,000 pounds one day. I don't care what it takes. And that was a big thing to be said because I may have squatted 550 at the time. So, that was a big, like pointing the bat out to left field, like hoping that one day I'll be able to swing this out there.
quite a hefty goal. Oh man.
Yeah. That was a big bite that I was not ready for at that time.
Let's see.
I know this is about us, but Ryan, did you ever make the
Yeah,
same
totally.
like idea or same thought where some lofty goal years ahead of what you actually hit?
Looking back on it, I'm a bench press guy. I always wanted to have the biggest bench, so I never looked too far ahead. I mean, like I've told the story before, with Powerlifting USA back in 1993, and I was just starting out. I saw Ken Lane and Anthony Clark in there, and I saw the bench press numbers they were doing, so I knew it could be done. But I just took it one lift at a time, man, and kind of going down memory lane here a little bit, but because you mentioned high school. I mean, I was 5'4", 132 as a freshman. So, and I was a soccer player, and that's not a manly sport. So I knew I had to get in the gym, and I wanted to have the biggest bench and the biggest arms. Big wrestling fan here, Hulk Hogan was one of my idols, and I wanted 24-inch arms, and I wanted the biggest bench press. So, yeah, just one baby steps, and I never knew exactly how far I could go. I mean, I always tell a story, but if a little birdie would have landed on my shoulder back in 1993 and said, "Hey, in 2000 and whatever, you're going to bench press 1,000 pounds," I never would have believed it, But it's just, you'll put 110% into it, man, and I didn't realize how important genetics were at the time. I mean, my parents were bigger people, and so I bless them for creating the Benchmonster, I guess. But yeah, but I never really wanted to do a 3-lift meet because I knew I had to put 110% into that damn bench press. So, and it was just I was hell bent on becoming the best I could be. And I know we were talking earlier before the show, and in my 30s, like you are, man. I mean, this is that's the prime years of your life to make some serious gains, and it's just exciting to see how well you're progressing. And that 3,000-pound total is, as they say, right around the corner for you. And I want to get into that. I have some questions for you after we're done here, so I won't take up too much of your time. It's your show, Bruce, not for me to talk about things.
No, it's hey, I'm just the guest. I'm here. I want to hear more about you anyway. I just finally have a Q&A with you.
Yeah.
I mean, feel free to ask him whatever questions you want to. Totally. But we do have quite a few. I can't remember what I counted, but let's see. Which of the 3 lifts is your favorite?
So I'd have to honestly say the squat at this point. Okay. Squat, then bench, then deadlift. It's ranged over the years. In the beginning, when I was horrible at squatting, I mean, I wish I could find some old videos. I wish we had more things on camera phones, and even when I started, it was VHS tapes, and my father would have the big old VHS camera with this, over his eye. Walking.
Oh yeah.
Flashback. Memory lane, old school. Yeah.
But awesome. I was horrible at bench, and I was horrible at squatting, and the only thing I could do was pull weight off the floor without falling on my ass.
Right.
So when I started, it was deadlift, and then when I got a little bit better at squatting, it turned to squatting, and then when I finally got better at benching, I don't think I ever liked benching as like my first event, but I've finally done some bench onlys, which I've actually really enjoyed, and I can see why you enjoy that. Yeah, because I'm kind of tired of being exhausted going to the bench and hoping for the best. But deadlift has always just been there to finish the total. Yep. It's never been my favorite. It's just there to finish it out. And to be honest, I don't think I knew I was allowed to do a single lift contest for, first all the years I was, the Ashland Powerlifting team is what I actually started at. And we were sponsored, the team was, not me. The team was sponsored by Titan. So we would get a bunch of, Titan single ply gear and everything else at a very discounted rate, thank God. But all of us, I only knew about a 3-lift meet. I didn't even know you could probably do a bench only until halfway through my career, until I'm seeing all these people going like, what do they squat before they bench? And they go, they don't squat. So it kind
You're like,
of piqued
what?
my interest a little bit.
Okay.
But yeah,
Nice. Okie dokie. So squats your favorite. On to the next one. What are some of your favorite accessory exercises for each lift?
so I mean, for squats, the best accessory that you can do for squats are down sets after your main movement. So, if you're squatting singles or triples or whatever for your max effort day, at the end of it, at 60, 65 or 70%, you're going to be doing like 3x5 or 2x3 or, 1x or 2x1 or whatever else afterwards,
right,
with a lesser weight and less gear. So it's really going to not only help your stability, but just the amount of volume that you're able to do underneath that load is what's going to fix everything. And I truly believe that that's what got me up so high from everything.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Bench, actually, tonight was my favorite accessory for bench. It's floor pressing with one of the Widowmakers by,
Yep.
Rob Farrell, or, any slingshot or whatever, especially if you're benching equipped. I am a huge forefront believer in using that, because at the end of the day, in my opinion, I'm not worried about my chest not getting stronger, because it will no matter what, but it's going to help all your stability, your back, your triceps, everything to be able to get, loaded for a 900 plus pound bench for me.
right.
Okay.
Yeah, we just did that
Yeah.
exercise the other night, actually, floor press, and I had Rob Farrell's. I guess we can't call it a slingshot.
I think it's called the Widowmaker.
Is that what it is? Okay, because he sent me some of those, and
cool.
they were kind of fun to use them on the floor press. I've never done it before. Usually we just do it raw, but
Right.
We threw those in. And when you say down sets, so you're doing drop sets
Like
after
you mean drop set, right? Like same thing.
Yeah, but at a percentage.
Percentage.
So I'm not going down the failure, at least on squat.
Okay.
Some days, I'm another huge fan of like incline bench. I won't use any slingshot or anything for that. Those I will do a bunch of like drop sets or like sets to failure. So like I went up, I think, to 335 on our tsunami bar or whatever, which is
Right.
If you don't have a tsunami bar, you need to get one. Those things are phenomenal.
Really?
That's the one that has a lot of flex in it.
I think we have
Yeah.
one at Rab.
Yeah. Where do you get those at, Bruce? Is that an elite FTS item?
You know what? It's not. It's a Williams strength item, I think.
Oh.
Yeah,
My buddy TJ Watkins, remind me, because he actually sent me the link. I forget where to get it,
Okay.
but I have the information to get one.
I want to write that down because I need to invest in one.
Here we go.
It's great on your joints, and I can go sub max with that and press mid 400s with a normal straight bar.
Can you repeat that on where I can find that?
I think it's Williams strength.
Okay.
Williams strength.
Okay.
I'm sure if you Google tsunami bar, and you just have to make sure you get the right level. So there's different levels. So depending on how much weight you can or can't use with it.
Okay.
So
Well,
you'll have to get a higher level.
I might be getting a hold of you on Messenger or something. I got your phone number, so I might text you. So be aware.
That's fine.
Yeah, I pick everybody's brain, man, and I just I want to keep learning and keep. That's why I want to figure out what you're doing, Bruce, in your training. Is there something you're doing that I'm not doing? What? And I don't mean to bounce off subject, but what training method are you? West Side? Are you conjugate? Are you 531? Or you have your own training program? Do you have somebody that does your programming for you? I'm kind of prying into your business now.
I think you're jumping ahead.
No, absolutely. Actually, I was coached by a old West Side gentleman named Todd Brock for almost 5 years.
Okay.
And he took me from a 1,900 pound total to about 2,700 in 4.5 years.
No
Jesus
shit, Bruce.
Christ.
Wow.
Yeah. So I actually met him at Elite FTS, and long story short, this is actually, he could have told me to jump off a bridge, and I would have said, how fast do you need me to run off?
Todd Brock.
Okay.
Okay.
So at the time I was working out at probably the most hardcore gym in where I'm around called Duke's Iron Zoo.
Okay.
And, you know, this gentleman who to this day is like my grandfather, but I remember meeting him one day and he looked at me and, I mean, the gentleman has a long tombstone beard and never met this man in my life. And he actually was at the gym where Jimmy Kolb trained a long time ago called Iron Chamber.
Okay.
So I met the man and he goes, yeah, you need to come to my gym. And this is some guy I've never met before. And I'm like, I'm not really immersed in the powerlifting world yet. I don't really understand. Like, this is a phenomenal invite. And I asked him for an address like 3 or 4 times. And he goes, I won't give you an address. I'll give you directions.
Right.
And I was like, I'm new to the Ohio area at this point still. And I was like, oh, shit. I'm like, I'll end up in some cornfield, whatever. And it turned into to be a phenomenal 3.5 years training.
Oh, wow.
And basically, I topped out at about 855. I think 850 was my best squat there.
Oh, shit.
And long story short, my buddy got sponsored by Elite FTS, so we used that as an in to go hang out at Elite. And I met this gentleman named Todd. And I was like, can you help me? He goes, I can help you. He goes, and you know, he did very little. He just fixed my technique and everything else. And I met him in August or September the year before I squatted a grand. And then April the following year, I went to the meet and I opened up at 855, which me as a coach now who helps a few people, I would never let you open up with a 5-pound all-time PR. Like that. Like, you know, looking back in it, we didn't give a flying or whatever. We just threw, you know, shit to the wind and hope we didn't have a full face of piss. So I opened up with 855 and smoked it. And I was like, okay, let's go 925. Because once again, I just hit a 5-pound all-time PR. Why not jump 75 pounds? And makes sense. So totally. I took 920. Yeah, so I took 925, smoked it, and I remember looking at this gentleman named Duke, which once again, phenomenal, just dude. And I remember looking at him in the face, going, "Put 1,003 on the bar." He was like, "What?" And he was like, "Okay." He walks away. He turns back around one more time, and he looks at me. He goes, "You sure?" And I looked at him like, "Do it. Let's do it." And I had so much adrenaline. And that was actually the first time ever I actually squatted 1,000 pounds.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, so the funny part is like, so after I did that, well, I almost bombed out of the meet because I was so excited. I was like tearing up, like, you know, I just hit like my all-time goal. And I was like, you know, that's it for me. Who knows? You know, I'm happy. And even my buddy Duke was like, do you just want to go grab some beers now, or do you want to finish the meet? I was like, let's try to finish the meet. Right. Let's make it count. And, we might as well make it count. And, you know, I think I got 2 benches in and I got 1 deadlift. And I was like, I was smoked. My body was completely just destroyed after that. But I went back into Elite FTS. I met Todd. I go, whatever you say, I will do. I do not care. And from there, I gained more weight for that guy. He said, you need to be, you know, X amount. He goes, you need to be a 308er. I go, okay. And from there, you know, all the magic happened. But my training style, long story short, my God, I'm so sorry.
Oh, no, dude, this is your show, your time. You go.
And, he did my 50, every single week of the year was programmed for me. He programmed literally 4.5 years of my life. And even my rest was programmed. So it's based off of a conjugate with some West Side principles of what I learned. And then everything I did was straight weight too. So it was just a circa max of straight weight over time. So that's the interesting part is I got really strong with just straight weight. I never used chains. I never used bands. I mean, I used bands on my deadlift, but for my squat and everything else was straight weight for years, all the way up. Yeah. So it was a very interesting program. And then since then, I've taken that plus more of a conjugate feel to where I'll run now, like looking out at a meet, like I try to run it. I mean, I don't know, 14, 15 weeks where I'm running about a 5-week phase 3 times into a meet.
Okay. Gotcha.
So, I mean, it'll be like a circa max of like and I'll pick 5 different exercises to do, and then have my rest weeks in between, and then start with the most accommodating resistance in the beginning, and at the very end, almost nothing to meet day, which is absolutely nothing.
Okay.
So I'm just switching out a bunch of exercises and everything else.
Okay.
And it's working, Bruce. Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's working for you. Okay. Do you, this is kind of a random one, but do you use pre-workout before training or before a competition?
So I mean, I take pre-workout before every workout that I do, just normally on a daily basis. But I actually don't take any pre-workout on the day of the meet. I'm so amped up, and I try to be as calm as humanly possible until you got to flip the switch and you can go and turn it back off. And I think I sent you a video. It's when I'm done that lift and I completed it, and I'm just overly just excited and just like that was my 5 or 10 seconds of all that hard work of how many weeks I put in. It's like that blackout moment, and then all of a sudden you come to and you're like, okay, thanks.
Yeah, that makes sense. I could totally see that. Okay. What do you mind if I ask what pre-workout you use? What's your favorite one?
So I mix in between just a normal, like the Animal Fury, I believe it's called, and then the latest one that I really like is called Gunpowder. Gunpowder.
Where do you get? I'm writing this down. I want to try it.
That one sounds cool. Yeah.
Who makes that, Bruce?
Yeah. It's GUNN. It's I don't know. It's more of a local company.
Okay.
And they make a low stem and a high stem, and the low stem, I'll take a half a scoop of my dynamic effort days, and it's more than enough.
Really?
Yes. And I don't I was talking to the guy actually at the meet up at Rob's, and he was telling me that people were asking for a high stem. I was like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, I can't even sleep after, I have a normal 1 scoop.
Wow.
Is it like jittery, like
Powerful
hand shaking, like high ephedra based stuff, or?
I'll have to tell. I mean, I have it actually not too far from here, but I'll have to show you just afterwards. There's no ephedra in it. It's caffeine and taurine, and it's like 6 or 7 ingredients, which is like my favorite. I don't like a lot of things with a blend of stuff. I'd rather it be like 5 or 6 things, and it just be straight to the point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. And what's your favorite kind of music to listen to when you train?
I love heavy metal. I love metal. I love it's not quite screamo, but I truly don't want to hear the lyrics. I just want a good beat, some thrashing music.
Understandable.
Nice. Just some energy.
You will laugh every once in a while, though, on sometimes at the gym that we call Narnia, because it's in a gentleman's house that you would never expect, and his entire basement is basically better than most commercial gyms.
Really?
It's just a little.
Wow.
I mean, it has 3 squat racks, a monolift, 2 deadlift platforms, one of those rogue benches.
Jeez.
The whole full cardio area, a pitch shark, Smith machine, HR, dumbbells up to 120, and then we have the unlimited dumbbells that we can make up to. Well, the most I've topped out is 180s. Wow. So yeah, we have absolutely everything, and he's been making the gym since 1985.
Holy crap.
7. So yeah. And he started out a powerlifter, and this was the second time somebody asked, hey, would you come to my gym in my basement? And this time I knew better, and I said yes, right away.
That sounds like a really nice gym. That's awesome.
Yeah, you got to have the right training environment. You can't, these, commercial gyms and bullshit, they just don't work for us. So the crazy stuff that we do, we got to have the right environment.
A little more specialized type of.
And I'm a heavy metal guy too, so.
Yeah.
My buddy Chris and I actually used to train at a powerhouse gym, and every Tuesday or Wednesday when we would go to bench, we would walk in his saber-tooth bench bar, from his car. He would drive it down every week for us to bench with. And we knew enough of the strong bodybuilders, thankfully, that they would side spot. And that's how him and I got so good at literally one-man handoffs, where I think Chris' best one-man handoff was 965.
Oh, wow.
What the hell, dude? Right on.
Yeah, so between me and him, his best one-man is 965.
Holy shit.
That's
On
crazy.
your bench, do you like 3-man handoffs, or you just got one guy that sets you out, or
So with the band shirts, I have to do a 3-man.
3-man? Okay.
With the polys, 1-man is perfectly
Okay.
fine.
Okay.
Okay, that makes sense.
I feel like with the band shirt, if you don't take a 3-man, it rides up too fast.
Okay.
That makes sense. Good to know.
Do you anchor that shirt down a little bit so the neckline stays down, or are you doing that technique where
Both.
both?
So I'll anchor it down. So I'll always wear a belt. I mean, A, I push into it, but B, that's what holds my shirt down.
Okay.
And then Rob, actually, I'm so spoiled. Pharrell has been setting my shirt for all my heavy sets and everything else. So I mean, that dude jacked my shirt. I mean, I was at the meet. I mean, and I asked him, I was like, Rob, can you set my shirt? He was like, yeah, of course. So he set my shirt for the 900, which was my second attempt. And I swear to God, it was down here on like right above my pecs. And I was like, this might be too much.
Okay.
Like, I don't know. I mean, I took it right out, and it was actually probably the best bench I took into my lats ever. And I came down, and my back actually was fatigued after squatting 11 3 times.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Unfortunately, it took me 3 times. But I got 9 all the way almost to my chest, and then the last like half inch, you can kind of see where I dump it just a little bit.
Right.
And in my mind, I'm just saying, oh shit. Like I was like, I need this, because hindsight, Bob Mert just benched 1,000 pounds after I did this. So I was like, I need this to stay in the meet, to stay, competitive. And I remember hearing Bobby Fields just say press, and I just launched. And I was like, I mean, it flew right up.
Yes.
So if it wasn't for him setting my shirt that low, I mean, it was perfect.
Right.
That's awesome.
So I'll set it low and I'll anchor it in, and then I'll keep my hands like this until I literally set up, and then I won't even move my arms up. I'll keep it here, and then when they go to set me, I'm literally here. I'm oh shit.
Oh shit.
Whoa.
Yeah, because I know there's a technique to that, and Shauna's been helping me with that, and I understand the concept of keeping your arms like that so that neckline does not ride up in your throat.
Yeah.
A lot of pressure at the bottom of that lift, depending on where you have the neckline. I know when I had it pulled down to where you were just speaking of last week, and man, it felt like the old school Rage X pressure, like nosebleed coming anytime soon. Like I don't know if it because it was the shirt was too low, but I found that depending on where the neckline rides, dictates the amount of pressure that I'm getting in my brain, dude. I mean, yeah, it's pretty extreme.
I still think the triple ply SDPs have given me more pressure than these band shirts.
Really?
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Okay. Yeah.
In my opinion, I don't know.
No, are you,
Go ahead.
I say, are you sticking with the same Pharrell shirt? I know I've received a few different kinds, some with a neckline, some without a neckline. Do you have one specific shirt and you're set with it, happy with it, or is Pharrell kind of got you trying other designs as he makes them, or not like a guinea pig or anything, but you have one that works? If it ain't broke, don't fix it, type of thing.
I'm super happy with the black and blue.
Yeah.
Before that, I had the version before that, and I had the insert, so I could make it a 2-ply, a 3-ply, or a 4-ply. And I tried the 4-ply out of it a few times, and the most I did was 1,025 to a 2-board. Okay. And I mean, it was stupid fast. But at least at this point right now, I can't handle the 4-ply yet. Okay. That is a monster of a shirt. My God.
Yeah.
I mean, possibly in the future, I may be like, hey, Rob, can we make this 3-ply maybe an inch and a half shorter?
Right.
But other than that, that's the 4-ply is pretty. The 4-ply, honestly, I took down 1,025, and I got about halfway down, and I couldn't feel the weight in my hands anymore. It was that much support.
Oh wow.
Now, insert. Shauna spoke of this. I don't think I have a Pharrell shirt. Is that insert? Is it you're able to take it out of the inside of the shirt, or I'm not familiar with that. I don't have that particular shirt.
I think that was some of his more beginning shirts that he made.
Right.
So, like, especially for like, it was like the first shirt that I used. Actually, the first shirt that I put on was a spare of yours, actually, that he never sent out or you didn't like, or whatever.
Yeah, I've returned a few shirts. Yeah,
and he gave me one of them, and I still remember to this day. I went to put it on, and this was before Rob and I were friends, and I trained at his gym. It was probably a good year. I put it on. I tried to grab the bar, and my buddy pushed my arm out, and I thought my arm was gonna fucking snap off.
Yeah,
and I was like, I'm good. This isn't for me. And then hindsight, a year later, I love these things. This is a breath of fresh air when it comes to benching.
Yeah.
Yes.
Honestly, we were joking around, and I think Rob thought this was going to be a fad, and it turned into the next generation of powerlifting.
It sure has. Yeah.
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 Which is, to put your name on something is awesome.
Yeah.
It is very.
And I'm glad we're seeing these shirts actually, because I kind of gave up, when Inzer, his Phenom material changed on me and it wasn't as stretchy as it used to be. So I kind of just gave up on the shirt benching, and then these band shirts came out, and little learning curve for me over here. I'm still kind of, I haven't perfected it yet, but I'm not going to quit by any means. But that's why I like picking your brain and anybody else that offers advice. I've reached out to many, Will Brody and Carlino, and I think the in your case, Bruce, 1,000 pounds is in there. I mean, I don't know time wise, but you're going to be putting up $1,000 pretty soon. So, and that's exciting to see. To add to your total.
There's a few things left to check off a bucket list of powerlifting.
Yeah.
about 3 things to check off. Okay. So.
Gotcha. That's one of them. Huh? Okay. What was one of your favorite, most memorable powerlifting meets that you've done?
So, honestly, my absolute favorite moment was, the 1,000-pound squat. But really, lately, something that's actually meant more to me was when I totaled my 2,700 last year in November. Right. That probably meant the most to me. Back in January, I had emergency appendicitis.
Oh shit!
And then, so I went into the emergency room at 290 some odd pounds, and the funny part is at this point I was like, you know what? I didn't think I was going to really powerlift much more. And I feel like I go back and forth every so many years. I'm like, this is stupid. Why am I still doing it? And then, and then I remember the feeling of, underneath the bar and everything else, and I'm immediately hooked again. Like, this is something that I would love to be able to walk away and be happy, but you can't. Right. It's once you're underneath this for so long. I look back and I go, holy shit, it's been 14 years. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm not leaving this.
Right. Yeah. It's a part of your lifestyle.
Yeah. So long story short, I had an emergency appendicitis. They took it out. I guess being a big person and with surgeries is not always the best thing. And about a week later, I had some internal bleeding, and I filled up part of my abdominal cavity of blood. And I went back. Yeah, that was fun. No, it wasn't good. But long story short, I lost about 55 pounds in about 4.5, maybe 5 weeks. Oh. So when all said and done, I was about 240-ish some odd pounds at the end of it. And in fact, if you see a picture of me, it looks like I'm like 10 years younger.
Right.
Like you're in high school.
Holy shit, that's a lot of weight, Bruce. Damn.
Yeah, that's a lot of weight.
I got myself healthy enough to actually help my wife at one of the WPO semifinals, which I think was in the end of March. And because Arnold was still going on, this is right before all the stuff hit.
Yeah.
And we went there. I was able to actually help her wrap her, which was a big push even for me. I think she was still carrying her own bags at this point too. Like I still was worthless.
Oh, geez.
But from there all the way up until November, I set myself a goal because I was like, you know what? I was like, if this world's going to end, I was like, if this, I was like, I'm going to die as big and as strong as humanly possible. And I'm not going to say no. And I'm going to come back with a vengeance. So I went back from 240 to 303 or 300 pounds is when I weighed in November. And I hit my lifetime goal, honestly, which was I set myself a long time ago, which was 2,700 pounds. And like that meant the most to me.
Yeah. That's
just
pretty
of the
special.
hardship coming out of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to stay at 308 or do you have plans to move up to like 340? I mean,
I'll probably stay around here.
Okay.
I mean, if my body goes up, I'll let it go up. I feel pretty good. Probably, I mean, yeah, I'm pretty happy with 305 to 310.
Okay.
Honestly.
You sleep with a CPAP machine?
Every night.
There you go.
Nice.
Good to hear, man.
Every night.
Yeah.
You're on it, huh? Very nice.
In fact, if the power goes out, I won't even go to sleep.
I say
If
the
I-
same
if I
thing.
don't have-
Same thing, Bruce. Yeah, I will not go to sleep.
I will snore myself into a sore throat.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I actually have
He's the same way.
I got 4 of those machines actually, so I like collect them. I will not leave travel. I won't without one. So
okay.
It's God's gift to chubby people.
yeah.
Yeah, he just loves his. Okay. So now what was one of your least favorite or worst powerlifting meets? It's like your worst experience.
There's a lot of them.
Oh.
No. Honestly, I mean, I just had a lot of bad meets, and it was because I just really didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't have control of myself, and I wasn't strong enough at that point to even control the single ply gear because we didn't train in our gear. It was original like West Side template in college where you train raw year round, and then for 6 weeks you put on your gear and then you go out and squat or you do whatever. So, the success factor wasn't really there.
Right.
But I think the one meet that was really probably, it was a rough moment. I remember, I think I only squatted like 780. I benched 550, and I cramped my back to the point where I couldn't deadlift.
Oh.
And I remember I had to put on my entire deadlift suit to go out there and pull 155.
Oh no. Oh jeez. Oh, that is rough. That is rough.
But honestly, I mean, all the moments aside, I mean, it wasn't that bad, but it's one of those, it continues to keep you humbled in this sport. So.
Okay. And how long ago was this meet, did you say?
I'm
just curious what your, this was recent or long time ago?
Probably 2013,
Okay,
14, probably 2013.
Okay.
I'm going to guess. Or actually, my actual favorite phone conversation I ever had was I just started going to the gym called Duke's Iron Zoo. And I was there only a short period of time. I said, hey, Duke, I'm driving out to, because I was in Ohio. And I was like, hey, I'm driving out to York, PA. I'm going to go do a meet. And he was like, all right, man. He was like, let me know how you do. And I remember going out and I bombed on depth on squat. I didn't understand what that was. I thought your hamstring had to be parallel, not your hip crease.
Right.
So I was like, I was a good 3 inches high, whatever.
Yeah.
And I remember driving home. I think I called the man at 11:30. He goes, hey, man, how you doing? I'm like, I'm doing fine. I'm driving home. I bombed out.
Not a fun conversation to have.
To this day, we still laugh about it because he was like, man, I was so excited for you. And all of a sudden, I give him a call about 3.5 hours later of going, I'll be home in 7 hours.
Oh, man. Okay. So, outside of powerlifting, what are some of your hobbies and things you enjoy doing?
Spend time with my wife.
Yep.
Out to eat, hang out with my buddies. Honestly, for my wife and I, powerlifting and lifting and spending time together really is what runs our life.
Yep.
Same here.
So outside of powerlifting is my family.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I hate to be, kind of one-sided, but for how much time my wife and I put into all this,
Yeah.
it's really our number 1, 2, 3, and I'm happy I can do it with her.
Yeah, that's
How long
we
you
are.
been married, Bruce?
3.5 years.
Oh, good for you.
Nice. Very cool. That's awesome. Nope, wrong one. Sorry. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Kind of a tricky one, huh?
I want to say still injury-free.
Okay.
And hopefully complete all my goals so I can be satisfied.
There you go.
I'll still be lifting.
Yep.
I'll always lift my entire life. And the nice part is, like, the coolest thing is I've been given so much help, and it's all been for free. So I have a small group of guys that I coach, and I give back. And, it's one of those things where I ask a lot of these people, and as long as they give me videos and they tell me what's going on with their life, if they have to miss a workout, whatever, I'm perfectly good with that. I take a lot of pride in the biomechanics of the movements.
Right.
That's what Todd was phenomenally good at. And he kind of gave me that eye. But at the end of the day, it's as long as they give back to me, which is the training and everything else, I continue to help them.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's one of those times when people start going quiet or they stop giving me videos, they get nixed, because I want to be able to help somebody who wants my time, who I can give time to.
That's right.
Yep, totally.
How many people do you coach and have on your team of lifters?
So, I mean, I wouldn't call it my team. I would just call it, gentlemen that, I help.
Yeah.
But probably 5, 6, probably about 7 or 8.
Right.
Okay. It's a nice size.
Yeah. Training partners are important, and I always say, we don't miss workouts unless you're dead in jail or in hospital. So I expect my guys to be there, and I rely on them because I can't do it by myself. And training partners are very important.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my buddy Chris, who benches with me and helps me train throughout the week, and my wife, who takes time. And then on the weekends and every third week, I go out to Rob's now.
Oh, you lucky bastard. Jesus.
Yeah. So every Saturday I get to hang out with them and train and squat and pull.
Okay.
And then every third Tuesday, because I take PTO from work,
right,
I leave out early and I drive out there and I bench heavy with them and the crew and everybody else who goes out. Yeah, I'm very spoiled.
How far of a drive is that from Columbus to go see Rob?
So I'm in Akron, which is about 2 hours north of Columbus.
Okay.
And from me, it's a straight shot east for about an hour and 40 minutes, hour and 35 minutes.
Lucky dog, man.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Everybody that goes out and trains with Rob, or anything that they do with Rob, their bench press just skyrockets after they work with Rob. I'm jealous. So.
Like I said, these bench shirts are anything but conventional. So everything that everybody's been taught, it was basically throw out and let's start brand new.
Right.
And I like to think that I finally have somewhat mastered the SDP finally, benching the 900s finally.
Right.
And it was like, hey, let's go to the bench shirt. I was like, okay. And I did it. They're like, you can't do anything of that. You need to change everything.
Yeah.
So when you first started out when you first started out lifting, what lifters did you look up to?
So I being from New Jersey, having what I thought was an attitude in my life, which is very funny to look back at. I love Kurt Kowalski. I loved the mental attitude, I miss more than you mentality of just always going after it over and over and over again. There was just something that I saw in that you can't not love. There's just that intensity you can't find amongst most people.
Yeah.
You've met Kurt Kowalski then at somewhere?
know what? I haven't.
What?
That's the only person. That's the only person I haven't met, and I'd still love to meet the guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He was kind of one of your inspirations as you were starting out. Yeah.
And actually, what was actually super cool, and I just told the story not too long ago, but I randomly met Donnie Thompson
Okay.
in, I believe, in a West Virginia McDonald's. I swear to God, it's by fate. The girlfriend I was with at the time, her and I were driving back from Ocean Isles in a 1991 Cutlass Sierra 4-door sedan.
Oh wow.
With blue velvet seats and wishbone.
That's a cruiser right there.
Yeah, in the hills of North Carolina.
Oh wow.
But long story short, I'm in McDonald's, and I'm looking at this guy, and this is the biggest freaking human being I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at him. He's wearing an Inzer shirt. It says Inzer Advanced Designs. And I'm looking at him, and I'm like, I've seen this guy before. I swear I've seen him before. And all of a sudden, I hear the McDonald's lady go, Thompson, your food's ready.
Oh.
I walk up to him. I was like, "Are you Donnie Thompson?" He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I'm a huge fan," and I'm fanboy. I'm 198 pounds, but the really cool part is he goes, "Find me after you're done eating." I go, "Okay, cool." So I find him after I'm done eating, and he brings me out to his Forerunner, gives me a bunch of USA Powerlifting magazines, wrist wraps. I think he gave me a pair of knee wraps. I mean, this is some kid he's never met before, and he's like, "You're a powerlifter?" I was like, "Yeah, yes, sir, absolutely." And that was the relationship of how I met Donnie Thompson in person, and he was actually a phenomenal person.
That's
awesome.
Yeah, super nice guy.
There's not many people you can meet, as your quote unquote hero, and I didn't know any better. And he turned out to be a phenomenal human being.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And I consequently met him multiple times afterwards, but it was just a hilarious start to a friendship of somebody who I can now talk to whenever.
Right.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
That's so cool.
He's a cool cat, man. I've known him for a while.
Very neat. Have you met him?
Oh.
Like in person?
So I'm assuming a meet somewhere along the lines. I remember when he was going for 2014, he was going for the 3,000 total thing, and I tried to help him with the Phenom back then on how to adjust the sleeve to get more tricep support, and we spoke over email a few times, and yeah, just a real down to earth. I mean, giving, just super nice cat, man. Yeah.
Nice.
But Kirk Kowalski, man, I mean, I remember watching his videos when he squatted that 1,000 for 2, and he's like, "I want to hold that. I want to hold it." That's an intense SOB, man. I know people that from back east that trained with him, and he would walk into the gym and somebody would be on the squat rack. He would throw his bag down and basically say, "You got 5 minutes." I mean, that guy. I mean, that's what it takes sometimes. You got to be hardcore to do this shit, man.
Said that, my shit up.
Yeah.
I'd be out of there. Okay. What advice can you offer new lifters who are just starting out?
Honestly, the best thing I can say is it's a marathon. It's a marathon. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And also, if you take a rest day, you are not a pussy.
Right.
Rest today? Yeah,
a rest day. It's the biggest thing that I've done that's worked and that's kept me healthy. Mm-hmm. It may have slowed my progress a little bit, but I have always, since I've worked with the Brock, it's always been 2 weeks hard push as hard as I can, 1 week light or completely off.
Mm-hmm.
Which has actually been when I say weak, I mean like no bar on my back. I'll still bench either medium or light, because usually I'm trying to recover from the band shirt now.
Right.
But I mean, for squatting and pulling, I remember the 1 week, after 2 weeks of a hard push, I went normally I did like speed squats or rack pulls or just something light. And I remember just saying, I don't want to do this. I'm done. I'm not doing anything today. And then I continued on with my week, and next week I PR'd in my next variation.
Right.
I was like, that's kind of weird. I was like, all right. I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm gonna try that again. So I trained another 2 hard weeks, took a full deload, came back that third week, PR'd again on my set and everything else. And I was like, I know what I'm going to run for at least a while now until that doesn't work.
Right. Yeah.
And then I found out that, training heavy. So I could train heavier in a bench shirt, normal, like SDP. I could go like 2 weeks on, 1 week off kind of thing. And but with the band shirts for me, because I'm still getting strong enough to, progress past everything, is I can bench heavy, super heavy 1 week. Then that second week is normally as much rehab and light reps as possible. Week 2 is back in a Widowmaker or slingshot for medium heavy. And then it's back super maximal heavy, 900 to 1,000 plus the next week.
Is that still your training split? Basically 2 weeks, kind of balls to the wall, and the third week is kind of okay. That's interesting to know. I know you train all 3 lifts, but in the bench press, that's how I trained back in the day. Was 2 weeks, going over a grand on 2 board, 1 board. In the third week, I would deload, and I haven't trained like that anymore because my mentality is more, and I'm not giving myself the rest I probably need, especially at my old age now. So things are different. And I wish I was 27 again, Bruce, but unfortunately,
I won't call you until I can outbench you raw, which will never happen.
Never say never, Bruce. I mean, you're a young man, and you got a lot of years ahead of you, and staying injury free and listening to your body, and all those things, man. It's just it's been fun to see you progress. So I've been following you for a while. I mean, I think one of your totals you did back a while ago, and I was like, who's this Bruce Mason guy, man? And then Bruce Mason pops up again on Facebook, and I'm like, hey, this guy's like, he's closing in on a 3,000 pound total, man. That's
Cool.
crazy.
Very impressive.
Yeah, it's just exciting. Are you gonna compete or invited to the WPO, like where Hoff is going? I don't know when or where that meet is at. I know.
So that's the 21st. That's actually in like a week and a half.
Oh, it is.
It's not this weekend, but it's next weekend.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm out of the loop.
And I was invited.
Okay.
And my wife was invited also. And we both end up declining because Rob was putting on that meet.
Yeah.
And I'm of the school of thought, and I was taught, fundamental teachings for me. I won't do more than 2 full power meets in a year.
Yeah.
There's no way I can physically take it.
Yeah.
And personally, mentally, I get burnt out after a full power meet. And so I'll do normally like a meet in the beginning to the middle of the year and maybe at the end of the year.
Okay.
And then it just so turned like after this, I had to get something taken care of.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm not pushing. I was like, this isn't worth it. And honestly, I joke around. I mean, it's a phenomenal meet. It's a great meet. I have no bad words about it.
Yeah.
But I joked around. Actually, I told Hoff to his face. I was like, we were talking about the WPO. I go, you mean the Hoff Classic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, who can beat Hoff? It's really that. I mean, he is hands down the best lifter ever to walk the face of the earth. I mean, it's incredible what he does.
Oh, yeah.
And
It is.
Absolutely.
Well,
go ahead.
Go ahead, Bruce.
No, I was just going to say
I was just
how nice he is.
Yeah, I was just going to say, will we ever see Bruce Mason do a bench only contest?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, really?
And the bench also. So I've done 2 bench onlys so far in my life.
Okay.
So it was the first time I benched 800, and then I benched 825 at the second one to take Matt Wenning off the Lexington board in Columbus.
Good for you, man. Records are made to be broken, dude. Yeah.
Thank you.
That's cool.
And I probably will do a bench only for fun in the band shirt sometime. But my goals, and I have no problem saying this because I'm somebody who it will eventually happen or it won't, but these are my goals.
Okay.
And, I want to squat 1,200.
Okay.
That is not been completed yet by myself, and I came close. And actually, I failed at it in May of this past year, and for technical issues and everything else. And that's when I started going to Rob's, and his mentality complemented me as an analytical lifter. I'm very a calculated person, so him kind of being like, "Screw it, do it," really helps push me along the way. And then so I want to squat 12.
Okay.
bench a grand, and then total over 2,900.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
So
Those are great goals.
those are my 3 goals to be completed, to consider myself satisfied with my performance.
Okay, nice. Just got a very clear picture of exactly what you want, huh?
A plan, an attack,
I like
and
it. Yep,
victory.
you gotta have a plan to have the attack and victory. Okay. What are some of the most impressive, memorable feats of strength that you have witnessed for squat, bench, and deadlift?
Probably the one that always sticks out to me, and still this day, is one of the most impressive bench presses that I've seen. Sean Copeland, this is WPC Worlds 2014. He broke his hand, or broke his wrist, like 2 or 3 weeks before the meet. So he hadn't benched, hadn't done anything. And I won APF Senior Nationals that year, so I could be qualified for WPC Worlds. And I remember seeing this gentleman who is now a good friend.
Right.
But he was trying to bench 640 plus whatever with a broken wrist in a in a poly shirt, whatever. And he missed it the first time. He got up, he went off, and he was throwing up inside this trash can because of the amount of pain he was going through. The second time he missed it again, and the third time he got it, if I remember correctly.
Wow.
Like, I'm pretty sure he got his third lift.
Holy cow.
And I remember, I ended up out tolling him, but I went over to him and I shook his hand. I'm like, that is one of the most impressive things I have ever witnessed. To be able to push through that much pain is just absolutely incredible. I have no problem saying he's more of a man than I am. Because
that's a hardcore son of a bitch, man.
That's really impressive.
God.
That's
If you're, that much pain to where you're actually throwing up.
That's insane.
That's a pain level of 10. I don't care on a chart, man. That's crazy, man.
I've seen guys rip their hands and pull out. That's impressive that he was able to do that.
Crazy. That sticks out to me as one of the most impressive things. I'm trying to think of. Rob Farrell bench pressing 1,000.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I helped hand off to him, and the funny part is, like, I'm on one side, Tori Pelder's on the other, and we're handing out, and the last thing you want to do is mess up a handoff because you only have one real chance at doing this.
Yeah.
And he smoked. He smoked it coming up, and he was holding it, and the head judge said rack, except the music was so loud nobody heard it.
Right.
So the guy said rack again, and at this point the bench started to go forward, and then I yelled rack, and we took it back and we took it in. So the crazy part is he held it way longer than he had to.
Right. Sounds like it.
1,000-pound bench at 198. Holy Christ.
That's nuts.
That's impressive. What about a big squat? What's the greatest squat you've witnessed to date? There's been quite a few.
I will say Henry Thromason. I did watch him squat 1,300. Probably it was like 2014 or 2015 also.
Yep.
And I think they called him high, whether or not he was or not.
Right.
It flew up.
Yeah.
He was ahead of every generation.
I agree.
It took 6 or 7 years later for Brian Carroll to squat 13,
right.
and the big Tractor Baptist squat 13, and whatever else.
Yep.
So he was well beyond whatever training and everything else, but I remember he couldn't finish the meet because his blood pressure was too high after that lift, which consequently, it's amazing that your body can withstand that anyway.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. Definitely.
Deadlift, Bruce Mason? Any crazy deadlift lifts have you seen in your?
I will have to leave this over and say that the most impressive deadlift I saw was my wife's deadlift at her meet. She weighed in at 112 pounds.
Oh, wow.
And he totaled, I believe, 1,030 or 1,035 that day. Yeah, she squatted 446, so she squatted a 4 times bodyweight squat.
Oh,
she bench she benched low 200s. And then, unfortunately, she has long arms and a long torso, so it doesn't help her bench or her deadlift.
Right.
You know, and me being husband and coach,
Yeah.
I told her, you know, I was like, pull 372 or 370. It'll be a safe pull, you know, and we'll see what else we have. And she really wanted 380.
Right.
I mean, like, really, she's like, I'm good for 380. I go, just please pull this first because, you know, in my mind, I want to at least PR her, you know, record.
Right.
Definitely.
Because nobody's going to be happy if you don't leave with at least like a total PR of 5 pounds.
Right.
So she pulled it, and then she goes, I want 380. I go, okay. So I was like, you can have whatever you want on the bar. And that's always my rule. If you pull your second deadlift, you can pick your third deadlift, whatever. I don't care. That's on you.
Right.
And she pulled it, and they came off the floor, and it was going so slow. I think I took 3 or 4 breaths yelling by the time it took her to lock it out. And she did not stop pulling. And I think everybody enjoys a deadlift that just takes balls and fortitude to just grind out all the way from start to finish. Nobody likes to see a heavy pull that was like, oh, that was too easy.
Yeah.
You know, that's impressive, but it doesn't take much character. Like it took time to get there. But for her and like other people who take, you know, that 102% pull and don't quit, and there was no quit in her. So that I have to say it was impressive because I think hell or high water she was going to prove me wrong.
Right.
So it helped.
So it was kind of a grinder then. I mean, she had to work for it.
Yeah, I think the delta is still going on in this conversation we've had.
Wow. Okay.
Lots of time to think about, have full thoughts, and.
How long has your wife been powerlifting? I don't mean to.
No, please.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's her who's allowed me to get this far.
Right.
So I think she's been powerlifting. I mean, I bought her a Valentine's Day gift of a gym membership, probably 2016, 2017. I think she's only been doing it for 3 years.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, she's only been in powerlifting gear for, I believe, 2 or 2.5 years.
All right.
Okay.
She did raw for a while just to get her wet, and then she went full head first into multiply.
Nice.
Wow, nice.
And we were doing it together every weekend and like every Wednesday also.
Oh, nice.
That's cool. That's very nice.
It's nice to have a significant other with things in common.
It's very nice to share that passion.
Yeah.
For sure.
And she keeps me in check. So like yesterday I had to do my lower body stuff, and she showed up and yelled at me and didn't let me slouch at all, and she went home and I kept working out.
Gotta keep you in track. That's awesome. What injuries, if any, have you had to deal with throughout your career, and how did you recover?
Probably my worst injury was I almost tore my pec off. I had a really horrible strain, and I was 6 weeks out from the SPF Pro-Am that was right in, I believe, Kentucky.
Okay.
And long story short, I took a bunch of anti-inflammatories for about 6 weeks. I didn't touch a bench. I didn't touch a bar until the week out from the meet. And basically, I just had to mentally note that I could hold 135 in my hands because I couldn't even push myself out of bed in the morning. I hurt myself so bad.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So the funny part is I went into the meet and I took a lot of grief for this, but it was well worth it. And I took 135 and I already had a slingshot on. It was Mark Bell's like 1-ply slingshot. And I took every single warm-up set with a slingshot, put my shirt on, went out and benched 771 6 weeks after I almost tore my pec.
Holy crap.
Damn, Bruce. Shit.
Damn.
That's impressive.
That is very
So
impressive.
I still remember people going, what is this guy doing? He's warming up with a slingshot. Like he can't bench 135.
Psyching people out, right? Confusing them.
I've had some injuries in my day. I've torn my pec 2 times, so it's not a fun thing to do. It's a setback, but try to avoid those injuries the best we can, because being on the sidelines is no good,
I know. I hate that. Sucks. Let's see here. What are some of your best training lifts? Squat, bench, and or deadlift. It can be like max singles, but it doesn't have to be. It could be
In the
like a
gym.
heavy set of multiple
Sure.
reps. Yeah, just in the gym lifts.
At Pharrell's, I squatted 1160 for 3 singles.
Damn.
Nice. Very
And then bench was at 1025 with a bancher to a 2 board. But my best in a poly was, I think, 965 to a board.
Okay.
okay.
And
Number.
it was just the tightest SOB shirt that I don't even know if I could have touched past with 1 board.
Right.
And then I don't really, my best deadlift ever is like a 843 pull, but you know, I don't train that enough to really care too much.
When you go out to Rob's and bench, how does that workout work? Do you guys do flat bench in the shirt? Is there accessory work done also, or is it just straight a lot of shirt work that day? Or as far it's a workout, correct? Or are you going out there to just?
No, it's a workout
Okay.
per se. I mean, there's a bunch of people have kind of things they're differently doing on the flat bench,
Okay.
but we're all doing flat bench. I mean, we're all in our shirts,
Okay.
and then you know, doubles, triples, singles, whatever. Some people are getting ready for meets,
Yeah.
or so it really just depends on the person. I will do accessories after.
Okay.
It's usually because I'm already 2 hours out from being home, and we get done around 7:45, 8 o'clock
Yeah.
at night.
Mhm.
I usually make quick wind of the accessories, maybe
Okay.
some lats, triceps,
Okay.
Mhm.
but definitely make up for it in my midweek of everything.
Okay.
Okay.
Normally it's, you know, we're using a bunch of upper back, triceps, hammer curls, forearms.
Hammer curls.
And I've really found that my biceps and my front delt take a huge hit in
Yes.
these band shirts.
Yeah.
So I've never really was one much for curls or anything else. I mean, I always did hammer curls, but I'm really trying to pump my arms up for the next time I'm in this shirt.
Okay.
Okay.
You mind me asking how your bench press training works when you're training in your gym? Do you have a speed day, a light day, or are you just bench press heavy once a week? Or I know you got to do all 3 lifts, of course. I don't know how specific I'm a bench press guy. That's why I want to pick your brain a little bit on bench and what you do as far as your training on the bench.
So normally, I mean, I have no problem talking about the bench. Normally so if I'm going out to Rob's, it'll be a Tuesday.
Okay.
And then, so say we bench heavy max singles or whatever else, hit some accessories. And my accessories, I don't do a back day. I
Okay.
do back with every single workout. I do abs with every single workout.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, I'll bench, and then usually it's, you know, normally if it was a heavy day and I'm not at Rob's, it's heavy bench, 1 accessory for the bench, and then it is back, and then a bunch of arm work,
Okay.
and then abs.
Okay.
So, like, tonight was normally, so like we did heavy floor press tonight, and I've seen how well I could push so far because it's been 3 weeks since I've touched really a barbell.
Okay.
So we did that, and then after floor press, I would do, you know, this is my secondary day, so I'd be like 4 or 5 sets of dips at, you know, 300 plus pound body weight, which is always fun no matter what. And then
Right.
the guys who can do it, I'm adding chains too, so
Okay.
they don't get away with anything. Usually maybe some light flies,
Okay.
and then it's shoulders. And then my fan favorite lately has been either heavy rows or heavy lat pulls, or I prefer to do pull-ups, honestly. I try to
Really?
do like 4 or 5 sets to failure. And I was averaging 40 to 50 reps on pull-ups.
Jeez.
Wow. Okay.
Damn. It's crazy.
And then just arms. So, I mean, some of my favorite tricep, I started adding in more of those rolling tricep dumbbells
Okay.
that you're doing. And it's funny. I started at 35s. I'm at 75s now.
Okay.
So that's really helped grow my triceps.
That's impressive. That's a lot of progress.
But curls, hammer curls, I lived on hammer curls and probably will continue that.
Okay.
But really, I mean, the main bench press or anything else I do, I never bench raw flat bench ever.
Ever. Okay.
Oh.
Ever. ever, and or floor press unless it's like a dynamic day,
Okay.
which I call it dynamic day, but it's more of a repetition day.
Okay.
Okay.
So I do reps, higher reps, and then the other day is just heavy max per se.
Okay. In the dynamic day, are you using band chains at all, or just straight weight, or?
Really just straight weight.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's now that I think about it, it's pretty. I don't say it's kind of boring, but yeah, there's not much really added to anything.
Okay.
It's just pounding away and trying to make those 5-10 pound PRs every time we go in there. Of like what I was doing the incline, 335 for a set of 12, and next time I go back in there on incline, I'll probably go 350 for 10. Or
Okay. Okay.
I still try to progress everything slowly,
Yes.
but I try to keep it above a set of 5.
Okay. Okay.
Right. Okay.
I didn't mean to jump in your questions. I get excited when we have guests on here. So
You're fine. You can ask whatever you want. Oh, I have a double question. Let's see. What is the best advice lifting wise anyone has ever given you, and who was that person? Kind of a tough one, huh?
And honestly, I think it's the quote that I gave Ryan in my bio in the beginning. It was probably from Todd, and he always said, "On your best day, you'll be hard to beat. Don't worry about any other competition. If we max you out 100%, you'll be hard to beat." And I've honestly always believed that. I mean, I know it this last meet, like I went in to win, but normally I don't go in to win. I don't go in to do anything. I go in to PR the best I can,
right?
Because I personally don't really care what you're doing, because normally there's no money involved.
Right.
So it's really about me. So, there was money involved in this. So at the very end, after I did the most I could out of squats and bench, I basically had my buddies, with their phones and calculators, making sure that, whatever I had to pull to be my best was, or whatever I had to do, I was going to do.
Right.
But normally it's, hey, you know what? Let's PR in everything. And it's, I have a pretty squat, a pretty good bench, and a pretty good deadlift, and I keep adding to it. It'll add up to something good.
Right.
Right. Nice.
Okay.
Excellent. What powerlifting gear do you use? Kind of already know that.
So at the moment, it's all Inzer, and I use the F8 bench shirt.
Okay.
I have some other equipment in order at the moment that hopefully will work out, and I have some combinations and thoughts that will hopefully get me to that 1,200 pound squat, and go from there.
Okay.
But yeah, no, Inzer, for how much they give me hell, and you can't ever buy anything and not wait 12 weeks now. It's a shame.
Are you experiencing delays like that when you place an order for a squat suit? How long are you waiting?
So, I mean, I ordered a pair of briefs, and it took them 10 weeks to send it to me, and then they sent me the wrong pair. So I called them back up. I said, "Hey, listen, like I have a meet coming up. Like I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm like, but I need this now."
10
I'm like,
weeks?
"You promised me, 8 weeks." The guy said, "I'll overnight it." He overnighted it. They came back, and I got double ply briefs. I was like, "What is this?" I ordered triple ply grid stitch briefs.
Right.
Size whatever. I called the guy back. I was like, "Dude, you messed up." I was like, "How are you gonna do this?" And finally, I mean, he got it to me a week later, but I think I waited 12 weeks just for a simple pair of briefs.
That's ridiculous.
Ouch.
Well, remember how much we waited for a black lever belt? Probably the most basic thing in his
6
shop,
weeks?
and we waited months. Oh, it was like months.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be for my birthday.
I don't know what's going on with Inzer,
Not
but
even
you're not the only one that's experiencing
we've heard
delays.
a lot of
people are.
stories.
So, oh well. He makes awesome gear. I mean, but sometimes you got to wait.
Yeah. I've always liked all this stuff. I like Titan stuff and overkills. The only thing I don't like out of Titan are their bench shirts. I've always been, sorry, Jimmy. I've always loved the stretch. After I used the SDP, I just fell in love with it.
Yeah.
And I mean, Titan has great briefs and suits and everything else, but I think what happened was my college career ruined it for me. The single ply katanas would literally slice my triceps open on the material, and ever since then, I just don't physically think I can handle that ever again.
Yeah, it's like razor blades behind the triceps. I've worn one of those shirts. Believe me, I know what you're talking about.
Okay. This one's kind of a fun one.
Okay.
What is something about you that would surprise everybody?
That I was once skinny, and that I was not with this. Most people always ask her, like, so you've been big all your life? I go, no, almost never.
You're like, I had to work
In
for
fact,
this.
the best part is, because I'm from originally right outside like New York City, New Jersey area, I'll go home and I could walk past the guy I went to high school with. He looks exactly the same. We couldn't pick me up and line up for $1 million.
That's cool. If you had an opportunity to go back and do it all over again, would you change anything? And if so, what would it be?
I mean, I'm going to say no, but I mean, it's always a yes and a no question.
Yeah.
No, because the person I am today. But if I was to go back and change anything, I would just add in that 3rd week of rest.
Okay.
There were so many times at different gyms I was hurt or beat up, and I just didn't want to be there. And you just kept pushing,
Right.
and you kept pushing until you're like, listen, I can't squat right now. My hip hurts too bad, or whatever else.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay.
and every time I think, I go, you know what? Maybe I'm old enough. Maybe I'm conditioned enough. I can make it 3 weeks and then rest. It always catches up. It's only a matter of time.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems to be my perfect little miracle that I found out.
Right.
Okay. All right. Cool. Let's see here. So the last, well, actually, no. I want to ask the Mount Rushmore question, the infamous Mount Rushmore question that you brought up a couple weeks ago. So if you were creating a Mount Rushmore of the best power lifters and one for coaches, who would be on your mountain? One for lifters and one for coaches.
Power lifters and coaches.
So it's funny because I feel like every time I think about this question, it always changes.
Yeah.
So
It's a great question.
It's a great question.
We're blown away.
On the lifter portion, Anthony, was it? No, it's Franks. I just post. I think it's George Franks. I think he totaled the first 26, 27, 20, and 2,900 pound totals ever. So he broke all the barriers for everybody.
Gary Frank?
I was thinking Gary Frank.
Gary Frank.
Okay.
Gary Franks. Thank you.
Yep.
Gary Franks, Kurt Kowalski, because it's a hometown hero for
Yep.
me. Just his mentality. You have to put up there Dave Hoff.
Yeah.
And so, and then this is the hard part. This is the one I'm actually torn up about, and you're going to be shocked. I'm in between Ed Cohn and Kali Razanin. I'm going to butcher his last name. But technically, pound for pound, Kali is a stronger human being than Ed Cohn by a long shot.
And what's his body weight, if you don't mind me? I don't know that.
I think he was 198 or 220.
Okay.
And I think at 220 he totaled like 26 or 2,700 pounds. Yeah, he's from Finland.
Okay.
And his girlfriend or maybe wife, I don't know. I don't want to give false pretenses here, but his training partner is the female in the 114 weight class. Not that this has anything to do with the Mount Rushmore, but at 114 she totaled like 1,360.
Damn.
Really?
Which I believe is like 200 pounds ahead of the other people. Yeah.
Oh wow.
So I mean, these people are incredibly strong. So I'm just putting out there that between him and Ed Cohn, I know that's sacrilegious, but definitely, I mean, he looks like he's 300 pounds of just ripped muscle. Kali is.
Okay.
If you type on Instagram and you type in Kali, Kalle, and then they'll come up.
Kalle.
Do you think we need the last name?
RASH. S. Start with RAS.
Okay. Is this individual still lifting? Is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I need to Google this guy. a
Yeah,
little
I
bit.
know.
Yeah, get some videos
I
on the
think
show
he
of him.
has all-time world record at 198, maybe 220.
Oh,
No
wow.
shit, man.
We'll
Wow.
see if we can pull up some videos for.
Okay.
So incredibly amazing lifter, just pound for pound, incredible.
Okay.
Okay. We'll check him out.
And then for coaches, obviously Louis Simmons.
Yep.
I want to say Donnie Thompson coaches because how much he contributes.
Okay.
Mhm.
An appropriate place. I'm gonna go with coaches because for me it's gonna be for me more than anybody else. Dave Tate heavily
Yeah.
FTS,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna have to say I'm gonna put Todd up
Yeah.
there because
Absolutely.
he was with Louis. He was with Chuck. They brought Dave into Westside. He was there for Matt Dimmel. He was there through it all.
Okay.
And what's really interesting is, he's broken the pieces now. Most of the Westside guys are.
Yeah.
And, he basically took everything that worked and threw it on me, and then took out everything that hurt him. And that's what created me.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow. That was cool.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, and then that was a great question. We love that question. That sparked some great discussion. Fun to think about.
Yeah, the greatest squat of all time has to be Lee Moran.
Yeah.
I can't get chill. I still get chills to this day for watching him walk out 1,000 pounds, 3 times, and just absolutely crush it that third time.
Yeah. To go through what he went through to get to that third squat. I don't know many people. Wow. Yeah. When I see it on Powerlifting Unlimited, I think that's where they have that video of him doing that. It's insane, man.
Crazy. It's amazing.
Yeah, there was no quitting the man. He was just like he was focused on getting that lift no matter what, man. And if that was me and it was 1,000-pound bench that did this and that and the other, I would have bagged it. I don't think I could have went through. Yeah, honestly, that is just effing intense, man. You're right. Anything else, Miss Ashley?
Just the last question is just that I have, is do you have any sponsors that you'd like to give a shout out to?
Technically, I have no sponsors, but I want to say thank you to Rob Frall and F8 and all those band shirts, and obviously the crews that helped me at his place, and my buddy Chris and everybody at Narnia who I couldn't do this without them. So I just want to say thanks.
Nice, very cool. It's important to have a team of support behind you, huh? So that's the questions that I have. Did you have a few?
Yeah, I'd like to know what Bruce Mason's diet looks like. When you're getting ready for a powerlifting meet, how many calories a day? What's your favorite cheat meal? We all got to eat food. So are you a big red meat guy? How many high-calorie shakes? What's your diet consist of when you're gearing up for a powerlifting meet?
So gearing up for a powerlifting meet, a normal day probably don't ever change.
Okay.
So at least at the moment, to stay above 300, between 305 and 315. So I ended up losing about 12 pounds before the meet just from stress and other things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's when I'm coming up to a meet, it's whatever makes me excited to eat food, because at this point I don't have to tell you. You look at certain things and you go, I don't want to eat that.
Yeah.
So I'm really more of if that looks good, I eat it. I either at night eat ribeyes and tater tots.
Air fryer tater tots? Like, how we cooking those?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, technically it's the oven at 450 for 20 minutes.
Okay.
Never listen to what the bag says. Just 450 for 20 minutes.
All right.
And so I'll eat that with my ribeye at least 3 or 4 times a week.
Okay.
And then the other nights is ziti. I love pasta.
Okay.
I'm a huge pasta fan. Ziti, pasta, cheese, meat, bread. I'm an Italian at heart, even though there's no Italian in me. And lunch, I eat out of lunch every day, but I my goal is to take in an X amount of calories a day.
Right.
So at lunch, I'm looking at, a 1,500 to 2,000 calorie lunch.
Whoa. Okay.
And then my lunch, so I probably take in on a normal daily basis, when I'm not trying, 5,000 to 7,000 calories a day. And when I'm trying, it's probably 6 to 9.
Okay.
So when it comes closer to everything, I'm taking in a lot of calories. I walk around all day at work. I'm in a heated lab and everything else. So I'm always sweating. And, in front of me, I have my second liter of 64 ounces, my half gallon of iced tea that I make every morning. So I try to drink a gallon of iced tea a day just for added calories.
Okay.
Which is another 1,000 calories. So I do everything on calories.
Okay.
I'm just trying to take in a certain amount of calories a day, or at least get close.
Yeah.
And if I check the scale the next day, I'm going up, I'll keep eating. And if it's going down, I'll eat some more.
Okay.
Nice.
And my favorite cheat meal, I'm a huge cheesecake fan. I love cheesecake.
Okay.
However, double stuffed Oreos are my go-to.
Double stuff. Okay.
Double stuffed or mega, but you have to have milk with it. I won't do them dry.
Are you a 1%, 2% fat-free milk guy? What are we drinking?
1 or 2.
One or
Doesn't
two.
matter.
Okay. And we're getting the double stuff, the big bag, obviously. And are we doing
Party size?
Are we doing one row and then later on? I mean, how fast are we going through
Do
these
you
Oreos?
dip them in the milk? Do you pull them apart? How do you eat your Oreos?
As a true fat person, you take a fork and you put it in between the Oreo into the white fluff.
Yes.
And then you put it into the milk so you don't have to get your hands wet.
We got to try this.
I've not tried that trick.
My favorite quote and thought, and my wife knows this, is the calorie per bite ratio. So everything has to come down to the calorie per bite ratio.
Okay.
So am I going to burn more calories eating it than I am actually ingesting it? The calorie per bite ratio.
I've never heard this before, Bruce. I'm intrigued.
It is a huge fat man joke.
Now, so there's a lot of different, I don't mean to talk about Oreos, but there's quite a few different kinds.
You're really going to...
I love Oreos. I never get to buy them. Every time we walk by the Oreo section, she won't let me put them in the cart.
Well, you asked me if we should get them, and I said they're not on the diet. What was that? I'm sorry.
That's why you buy them when you're by yourself, Ryan. I never buy them when I'm with my wife.
Yeah, then I got to hide them. Yeah.
Well, he asks me if he just put them in the cart, I wouldn't say anything. But he's like, "Okay, so do we need to get some of these?" And
Oh yeah, we do.
I say, "Well, you say you're trying to be on a diet, so probably not." And then so I must guilt him long enough to walk past him.
Yeah, we went to the water slides, and I did my little diet thing for a month, and now it's time to eat again. So screw that. I'm a skinny guy right now. So well, let's move over to the chat box real quick and see what we got here. We got a lot of people here chiming in, and we'll run through these, and we'll get that done. Ashley, that's your job also.
Right? Well, I wasn't going to start reading while you were still talking.
Okay. I'm done talking.
Excellent.
I'm hungry for Oreos right now, I'll tell you that.
So Petco was wondering how the water park was. It was great. We had a great time. I don't want to take up much time talking about that because this is Bruce's show. But next week we'll talk more about our Silverwood adventure. Yeah. But we're glad you made it, Petco.
Jimmy Cole?
Jimmy Cobe in the house. Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, Jimmy, I got your shirt on.
Yep,
yeah,
representing there.
Representing the shirt.
Paul Loffer. Hey, guys, how's it going?
It's going good.
Going good. Glad you made it here. Hey, hey. This is CJ Morgani. Hey, hey, a Benchmonster family member. Glad to have Bruce on today. Yes, it's been awesome having you. It's been great.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let's see here. Anonymous. What shirt did he bench for 408 kilograms in? Do you know? I think that one's for you, Bruce.
That's for you, Bruce.
Are
you not sure about your kilos?
900 pounds.
Probably.
Ashley, get your calculator out. I suck at this. 408 times 2.2.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that's like that, because I am horrible.
We have a European in the house here. It's probably the F8 band shirt.
It's $8.99.
It was the blue F8 band shirt.
Okay. Yeah. Yep, it's $8.99, so 900. Okay, and what was the shirt?
It was the blue and black F8 band shirt.
Okay, perfect. Reggie Bush. Is this a name you
That's my
recognize?
trademark.
Oh,
Okay.
right on.
He says, "Seeing my boy on Benchmonster TV brings a tear to my eye." Aw. I thought that might be a friend. One Rep Max. Hey guys, sorry I can't join today. I left my earphones at home and the machines are loud. See you guys next week. Keep kicking ass, Bruce.
There you go.
Thanks for joining us, One Rep Max. We'll miss you, but we know you got to work. We'll see you next week. Reggie Bush saying hi to Jimmy Cobe. Jerry Cool. I'm not sure if you remember, Bruce, but I bought a black SDP from you earlier this year. It's my OG shirt. It's a 60. You had it altered. Do you remember what you did to that shirt for future reference?
The arms were reinforced, and that is the shirt I benched 965 into a one board.
Oh,
Okay. Okay, perfect.
Reggie Bush.
Reggie Bush, I don't know what this means. Maybe you will. Black Veil Brides.
Yes, that is one of my favorite bands right now.
Oh, okay. So
When
that
you-
was
when you
probably
write
to
that
the
down,
music
Is that a
question.
hardcore metal band?
Yes, you'll love it.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm writing it down. Hold
Okay.
on. I mean, go ahead, Ashley.
Okay. Jerry Cool, you've said before you can buy a CPAP online. Where do you go to get one? What website do they have a one-stop shop to buy a full kit? I walk around at between 3:20 and 3:30. I know I need one.
Well, I mean, all I know
Probably
is Stan Efferdine did a seminar, and he mentioned that you can get them online. They do require a prescription, though.
I would guess.
Yeah,
If they do.
and I don't know if you can still do that. Like,
Oh.
I don't know.
I have no idea.
Bruce, do you know anything?
Do you have any insight?
Yeah, you used to be able to buy them online. You actually used to be able to buy them on Amazon.
Amazon. There you go. Yeah.
But they had to be an AutoPAP. It wasn't a CPAP.
Okay.
Okay.
So look up AutoPAP. And I know also if you're really hurting for one and you can't get a sleep study, Facebook Marketplace, actually.
Oh.
People have ones that people never use
Okay.
or they got. I got my first one off Facebook Marketplace before everything. And I mean, I just cleaned it and bought some of the parts and accessories for myself, and
Right.
the machine itself was fresh.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Okay.
They know they have a take-home test that you can do. You actually don't have to go to the sleep place
really?
and have all those wires hooked up to your head like I did. But I don't know. But definitely, man. I mean, if you're walking around, and you don't have to be 320 pounds. You know, you could be 198 and have sleep apnea. And it's a scary thing because, you know, you quit breathing in your sleep and your heart can go into arrhythmia. And it's I mean, people die in their sleep from sleep apnea. And it's just, it's something you need to be, that's why I always ask people, you know, if you have a girlfriend, you know, you like, always ask her like, hey, when I'm asleep at night, do I quit breathing? Yeah, you snore, then you don't make any noise for like 30 seconds. And then, yeah, that's dangerous stuff, man. Sleep apnea is no joke. Did you notice a huge increase in your weight lifting amounts when you got a CPAP machine? Because I know I tell my story, you know, I went from a 903 bench in February 2007 to 1,050 by the end of the year, just getting a CPAP machine, and it changed my life. I mean, I can't speak enough about them.
Yeah, I actually couldn't gain any more weight,
Yep.
and my training was in a slump.
Yep.
And I put CPAP on. I gained another 15 pounds of what I was trying to put on.
Yep.
And all my recovery went straight through the roof.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
I've never looked back since then.
Same here.
Yeah, he just raves about him, swears by it. Life-changing. Let's see. Hopefully that helps, Jerry. CJ Morgani. Well, now I'm just going to be hanging outside fast food joints looking for Super D. That is a really cool story. Let's see here. Reggie Bush, 965 was also my one-man PR. So does that
That
mean
was his handoff on my bench.
the
Yeah.
most that he's handed off? Is that what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you skip
Impressive.
Reggie Bush here?
Sure did.
Yes, you did.
Sorry,
Come on,
Reggie.
Ashley.
Bruce and I have been together for years now. We are the only two left out We are the only 2 left out of 5 gyms and dozens of guys. He's right. It's 1,000% a marathon. Definitely.
We still joke around to this day of what we thought were the 2 most unlikely people to get this far. We've just kept at it. It's hilarious. Yeah.
Consistency.
How long have you been training with Reggie Bush now altogether?
I think it's been over 6 years
Oh,
now.
good for you guys, man. Awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. It's important to find somebody you can count on like that. Cody Plum. What's up, Benchmonster family? And Bruce just got done with max effort lower deadlifting. Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us, Cody. That was from Cody Plum. Always a pleasure to have you here. And then Cody Plum, Ryan, I found out yesterday I have a small tear in my labrum. Bursitis, calcium deposits, and frayed tendons. So I'm going to get it cleaned up, cortisone, but I'm still going to be ready for October.
Well,
That's a bummer.
he's talking about the Kennelly Classic we're trying to put together, but the word on the street in Washington State is that they're going to
start spreading rumors because you don't know.
They're going to lock us down again or something because
that's
COVID.
Guys, that's
it's
super
it's
rumor. He is the only person
Yeah.
I've heard that from, so just take that with a grain of salt. It
Yeah.
could happen, but
I hope we don't, but that's what a lot of people are talking about. So.
you're the only one that I've heard
Okay.
lately. So
You can tell them you don't need a labrum to bench.
You don't need a labrum to bench, Cody.
So Bruce says.
Yeah.
Bruce's advice. You don't need that anyways. That sounds like we'll
I
get
don't
cleaned
have
up. Really?
Yeah, I
Yours
tore
all
my
jacked-
labrum in high school.
Oh no.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn, really? That's crazy. And you're still able to wow.
Yeah, my parents never thought I was going to be any anything worth athletic, which correct. I'm just powerlifting.
Right.
But yeah, no, I never got it fixed.
Okay.
Oh damn. And it doesn't affect you negatively?
No.
Knock on wood?
Nope.
Oh.
I mean, I just can't rotate down this way.
Okay.
Otherwise it pops.
I really don't want that. Okay. Darn it, where was
Jimmy
it?
Cole.
Jimmy Code, LOL, no hard feelings. That must have been about the Titan shirts comment. Reggie Bush, you're just not cool enough for a Titan, is what that's what Reggie Bush says. That's not my words.
Oh, there's that guy.
He's also he's sponsored also by Titan.
That explains it.
That's that guy's name right there. I'm writing down.
Yep, he did. Kelly Rasmussen. So it's like
2,590 total at 198. That guy's done.
That's crazy.
Holy shysters, man.
That was wild. Okay. Oh, that's the one that we're on, huh? Callie Rasmussen, 2590 at 198. That is crazy. Jerry Cool, checking Facebook Marketplace for a CPAP right now. Thanks for the tip. And when you say the sleeves were reinforced, did you have Inzer do that or someone else?
Inzer did that.
Okay.
It's on their secret menu of alterations.
Let's see. CJ Morgani, what is your next big goal in powerlifting? Which that kind of goes along with the 3 that you.
Yeah. I'm 1,200 squat, 1,000 bench, and 2,900 plus, total at one time.
Nice. That's totally there.
Is that going to be a different shirt that you'll have to get to do the 1,000-pound lift? A tighter shirt, or just changing where you pull the sleeve down? I mean, looking down the road for this 1,000-pound bench, is there going to be a tighter shirt you'll have to get, or
possibly, except I don't think I've nearly maxed out the potential in this shirt. So we'll see what I can do in this, and then I know Rob was trying to push me into a 4-ply and have some fun.
Yeah.
But I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
Okay.
What is fun?
Good goals. They're good goals, and I feel like they're totally realistic. Let's see here. Cody Plum, I've been benching. It's just my other stuff like assistance work and my job. I deadlifted tonight also. Okay, so it sounds like it's not affecting him during the bench. Are there other exercises like that bother your labrum? Or do you just
So
really not?
I threw out almost all overhead press for a long time,
Okay.
and I really did a ton of front, side, and rear dumbbell flies.
Okay.
And I tried to build this up as much as possible to give the rest of the stability so I could still bench.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
How did you tear the labrum? I miss that? How you did it?
No, throwing shot put in high school.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Wow.
so this has been an injury for a long time.
Yeah.
Like you've been dealing
I
with
forget
this.
I forget that's even an injury. Yeah, I tore that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's an issue. That's crazy. Like that it's been so long. That's great. That's awesome that it doesn't really affect you too much. 'Cause like how do they fit? I mean, what were your off like when you found out it was torn? Like was there surgery or like what? I mean,
Yeah, I believe there's just surgery to put everything back together. And
and
like I said, I wasn't going to be, a phenom baseball player or whatever else. So they just said, good luck.
Our gym owner had a labrum surgery, and he said it was really painful.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Roger Baker, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And especially with us using all the shirts and everything else, it helps keep everything else stable. So
Yeah.
I think that's part of the win also.
That could, yeah, that's true. That's a good point. That probably helps out a lot. Let's see here.
Anthony Caruso.
Thank you. Anthony Caruso. Would you have a raw bencher follow the 2-week heavy, 1-week rest rotation also that you do? Think that would work the same for a raw?
Yeah. I would give it a try because you're still giving max effort.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was thinking.
I mean, yeah. And if it, it's one of those things where if you don't see any progress in, 5 or 6 weeks of doing it, you didn't hurt anything.
Right, exactly.
I think after talking to you tonight, Bruce, I'm actually going to go back to my methods that I did when I was on my 1,000-pound run back in the day, and and it was 2 weeks of extreme benching, and then the third week I just kind of cut back a lot, and I made great progress that way. But I always look at it like we max effort bench on Tuesday nights, and there's only 4 Tuesdays in a month, and everyone's is so critically important. I just feel that I need to bench heavy every Tuesday, but sometimes it's actually set me back and I'm not making progress. So I always blame my age, but you got to tighten up that training. I think I'm going to go back to what worked before. I mean, it'll work again.
Try it.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
But I'm 99 years old now, so it's a little different than it. Oh shit.
Let's see here. Cody Plum. That's good to know. Thanks, Bruce. Jimmy Cobe. I ruptured the fascia of my pec when I was in the Marines. Closest I've had to a full tear. It had a crunch noise to it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. That was from Jimmy Cobe. Oh man.
Ugh.
Yeah, that sounds extremely unpleasant. Cody Plum, I'm just doing a small orthoscopic procedure to remove the calcium deposits that are fraying tendons.
Yep.
I had it done on my right shoulder in
2011.
Oh, in 2011. Okay,
Yeah.
they're missing the two. Okay, in 2011, and it really helped.
Good.
Awesome. So you kind of already know what it's about. I kind of already know what to expect. CJ Morgani, there is a surgery for it. I had my labrum and rotator reattached and bone chip removed. Got it so I could continue clean and jerk and snatch. If you have a good surgeon and are patient, it's not too bad. Okay. All right.
Well, that's the end of our questions, Bruce.
The last question.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's been so awesome talking to you. You're a very impressive and inspiring lifter, and it's been a lot of fun getting to to hear from you.
Kind of weird way to meet online. I mean, I hope to see you down the road at some meet
It'd be
somewhere
really
somehow.
cool to hook up at a meet sometime. Yeah, definitely.
You have to come out the Rob still.
Yeah, I need to.
There we go.
I need to come out.
We so need to do that.
Yeah, I think I can benefit from that, going out and training with him firsthand, and just trying to get better in these damn shirts.
Yeah,
you know,
it's so new and so different.
You can come out to a free state too.
Ohio.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Because you guys are way.
What's that like?
You know, it sucks here.
It sucks here in Washington. Don't ever come out here. I tell you, you're not missing nothing.
They're starting to. Yeah, it's.
My sister just moved from Washington State to Florida State, so I get it.
Because of all this, or just she
Yes.
happened to.
What part of Florida?
A lot of people are moving. Yeah, I've heard of several. Just in the last day, I've heard of like 4 or 5 people.
People are jumping ship.
Yeah, because this is just
Well,
bullshit.
I think they were tired of the weather, and I think everything else just kind of helped move on. But Clearwater area,
Clearwater, Florida.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to live in Fort Myers for a while down there, so yeah, the humidity is a little different than the 4 seasons we have in Washington, but you get used to it, I guess, after a while.
Okay, we got a couple other questions that are coming in.
Okay.
And this one's a neat one. Glenn Yocklin, what is the one thing you would change in the sport of powerlifting if you could? Bruce.
Honestly, I mean, what comes to my mind is the acceptance of new technology, like single ply, double ply, denim, triple ply, band shirts. I really think that we're all so hesitant of change that it can really cause a lot of inner fighting between people.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Where, at the end of the day, I mean, we're a bunch of cheaters anyway. No, I mean, I love gear.
Yeah.
I can't bench 900 raw. I can't do any of this without my supportive gear.
Right.
So why wouldn't I try to put on more supportive gear that makes me allowed to do more weight?
Right.
And, and it's one of those things like I was against the band shirts in the beginning until I used it correctly. And, I loved it because it was one of those things where it wasn't necessarily, I mean, it is obviously how strong you are, but it's how big are your balls? Are you willing to take a weight that you can think is going to crush you or kill you if you do one wrong thing? Like, I mean, Mendelsohn dropped it on himself. Carlino dropped it on himself.
Yeah.
It's becoming, this makes it into a little bit more of an extreme sport where, you see this and you go, holy shit, like I could actually fucking kill myself doing this.
Oh, totally.
But, and then all of a sudden that's kind of the rush. It puts a little bit more excitement back into everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a little bit more acceptance of each other for whatever we choose to do would be the thing that I would change.
Okay. I like that.
I think I'd really like to lessen the amount of federations we have. I mean, when I started in 1993, there was like what was it? APF, UPA, no, not UPA, APA, and now it's just this whole conglomerate of federations.
So many of them,
which is cool. I
crazy.
mean, everybody can set records, and
I mean, it's got its ups and downs, but yeah, I mean, I think it was a little more mainstream.
I think one other thing to add in onto that, is all the age brackets, and it would just be open. It would be one. It would be one division. It would just be the open division.
Okay. You take the age factor out of it.
I would take away submaster, master, master 1, master 2, master 3, master 4, preteen, premenopausal, whatever. I would take it all out. It would be women open and men open.
Okay. I like that. What's wrong?
we lost the camera.
Oh, so people can't see us? We're having a little bit of technical difficulties, but at least it waited till the very end.
Yeah.
Can you see us and everything okay? Or
Yeah,
you
I
just...
can see you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we lost our picture.
Yeah, because I don't see... So what is that?
We can see Bruce, but nobody can see us.
Oh, really? Nobody can... He can see us, though.
Our screen's black, so...
Okay.
Oh, damn, Helen crap,
Well,
Bruce. Thank God it's
it
at the
waited
end.
until the end.
Yeah.
I'm so glad everything...
We made it this far.
Yes, I'm so glad that we...
I don't know what I
at
did.
least
I just
made it.
moved the screen a little bit, and I lost the camera. Oh, shit. Oh, damn, Helen crap. I don't know if I should turn the camera off and on again.
I don't know. You can try it.
Okay, hold on a second. I'm embarrassed.
He's a little embarrassed. We're not coming
I don't
back.
think I'm not ready to run this show by myself here.
You got this, right?
I'm a third party.
Are we back?
You got this. No, we're not.
No, we're not back. Okay.
Well, that's okay. As long as they
Okay.
can see him, that's the important
Yeah,
part.
nobody
They
wants to
can-
see
as
us.
long as they can hear us.
Yeah, they can hear us. I don't know what happened.
He's the priority tonight. So as
All
long
right.
as we can see him.
I-
Thanks again to CJ Morgani says thanks again to Bruce, Ryan, and Ashley. Great stream tonight. Reggie Bush, great stream tonight.
Yeah.
Reggie Bush again. You leave us old guys alone. Who insulted old people?
I'm old. Yeah.
Who insulted old people here? Reggie's not happy about it. Oh, and then he's letting us know can't see on stream.
Yeah, we lost our picture.
Yeah. Yep. Sorry, guys.
Sorry, guys.
I don't know what
Technical
happened,
difficulties.
but
It's Kennelly effing it up again. It's my fault. I don't know what I did. I'm sorry.
hopefully we can at least
we made it to the
be
show.
heard. At least yeah, totally. I'm so glad that didn't happen
Yeah.
towards the beginning.
Thank God.
Yeah, that would have sucked.
Well, anyway,
So I
Bruce,
know it's super. What time is it where you're at? I know you're
midnight.
Is
It
it?
is mid.
We gotta get you to bed, sir.
Yeah,
But thank you so much for your time,
Yeah.
and it was great chatting
Yeah.
with you and getting to ask you questions. Like I said, you're a very impressive and inspiring individual. It's been really cool getting to talk with you. So thank you so much.
I might be
for-
sending you a few text messages, staying in touch once in a while if you
Yeah,
don't mind.
definitely.
And
What was that?
I'd be happy to hear from her.
Yeah.
It'd be a
Perfect.
good day.
Excellent. Cool.
and you're more than welcome to come on the show
Yeah.
anytime, Bruce. Just say, hey, Kennelly, I want to be on the show again.
Yeah.
Maybe after a big meet you do, we'll bring you back on and,
Totally.
and shoot the shit again, man. And this has been fun. I'm glad I got to pick your brain a little bit
Yeah, it was
and
really fun.
answer some of our questions that we have. And it's been fun, man. I've been wanting to get you on here for a while. I'm just glad you had.
I'm glad we were able to do
Made
it,
time
and
to
I'm
do it,
glad
man.
the internet worked.
Yeah,
the whole
until the
time.
very end.
Oh, until the very end. That's
Yeah.
what I meant. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Oh.
But yeah, again, thank you for. I know it's really late, and you probably got to get up. So
Yeah,
thank you.
Let's go get some Oreos. That's what I want to do.
I know. Let's all go eat some Oreos.
Once again, thank you very much
You're
for
welcome,
everything.
Bruce.
And,
Our
thank
pleasure.
you, Spotlight, and we will continue this another time
Definitely.
because I'm gonna have to go do something good now so I can come back.
Yeah. Stay
Yeah,
healthy,
we'd
stay
love
strong.
to have
and,
you back.
and
Definitely.
you know, I'm always following you on Facebook and look forward to seeing some bigger numbers and kicking ass and taking names, man. I mean, you're a phenomenal lifter and you're a young man and it's just exciting to see the years ahead that the powerlifting is going to do for you, man. It's crazy.
Sky's the limit.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I do.
Yeah.
All right, Bruce. Well, it's
Well-
good talking to you, and we'll sign off here on Benchmonster TV, and we'll do it again some other time.
Yeah.
Next week, I guess. See what happens. if I can get the
If
camera
we
to work.
can get our camera back,
Yeah, well,
it's not looking good right now.
right to
but
the end.
I
Yeah.
know.
All right, Bruce. Well, we'll
Have
shut it
a-
off and have a wonderful night and stay healthy, stay strong, and we'll do it again, man.
Yeah. And
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Bruce.
thank
Good
you.
night.
We appreciate it. Have a good night.
See y'all.
Bye.